Our next guests are often imitated, but never duplicated, and their 2025-2026 season is being featured on Netflix. Take a look.
The audition itself is a show, and I think there's more pressure on a veteran who's re-auditioning to keep their spot and to elevate their place on the squad.
All right, we are joined by Kelli Finglass, Faith Ward, and Reece Weaver from the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and the stars of America's Sweethearts. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Off the top, love the ponytail. It's the famous / infamous ponytail. We love it. We'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so let's talk about this first off. You, first of all, have so many fans here from Good Day. We love everything about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. The audition process from making the team, which we realized started 20 years ago, now going into America's Sweetheart, and we can see the team members now that you're on the team, all the stuff that takes place actually on the field and in your lives on a day-to-day. So we've been watching you, Kelli, for a long time.
Yes.
So that's become part of the show is now affecting the squad, because now you're getting people coming out trying to be part of the team because of the show. Is that not true?
I think the show definitely has increased the visibility so much that there are people that try out from an awareness standpoint from the show. I've heard Faith talk about it, and she's living in the Southern Hemisphere, and she has seen the show in Australia, and so dancers are attracted to this particular audition and team. Our audition process, I'm pretty confident that the ones that don't have the right intentions or the right training or the right commitment, it's not an easy journey to make this team. And so I think the audition process and training camp process itself help us find the best teammates.
One of the big stories in this season, Reece, is that I don't think we're spoiling anything because it's been out that you decided to retire from the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. One of the things I read is you said that the newfound fame from this show tested your faith. How did it test your faith?
I think one of the biggest tests that I felt like I experienced was really just the criticism maybe that was expressed through that, not just I experienced, but my teammates too. At the end of the day, our main goal and intentions on being here were to represent the Cowboys and to do that and serve as an ambassador while also being each other's teammates and cheerleaders and supporters. And so when the show came out, I think that we just all kind of didn't really know what was expected of all of the opinions of others. And so I think that's probably something that was the biggest contributor to testing my faith.
Sure. It's gotta be strange,
Kate, I want to ask you about, the expectations and the criticisms and things. We're laughing about the ponytail, but that's one of the criticisms. People want their DCC a certain way, and they had something to say because you're not from America. All these things that come into play, but you're still human beings. How do you guys handle all of that?
I think one of the biggest things that we have to continue to encourage each other with is that we're not to put our identity in any sort of comment that's said about us. And I think that we really try to do our best at keeping that in our locker room and supporting each other and making sure that we're not, we're not being defined by what others say about us.
And at the end of the day, I know everyone's open and valid to their own opinions, and you just have to block out the outside noise. And I'm honoured to be wearing a ponytail and be repping my country with pride. And I like to keep things positive. So no, I think the good outweighs the bad, and to outlook all of that with a positive outlook. So
we've mentioned the ponytail a couple of times. For folks that don't know, typically the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders wear their hair down with the big locks, but you were allowed to wear a ponytail, and it was sort of like a point of contention. Were you surprised by the reaction to that from some people?
I didn't realize how controversial a ponytail could be. But at the end of the day, I'm honoured to be repping it. I think it also shows my personality. It brought me a lot of confidence, and I think Kelli saw that in my dancing throughout training camp as well. There's been previous cheerleaders, obviously, with different hairstyles as well. I just don't think on Netflix. So I think that's why it's been a big shock, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's just a hairstyle, and I think it shows me and my personality and other girls to stay true to themselves.
Listen, your dancing speaks volumes, so I'm not even worried about the ponytail. So bendy flexy. Kelli, as a former DCCer yourself, and going into this third season of America's Sweethearts, is there anything that you guys have left off the table? Because I feel like we've been watching you guys for so long, but I feel like I learn something new every time I see something about DCC.
Well, I share that same opinion with you. I mean, I was watching the show just like you all have and our fans have. And I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed seeing Faith and her mother. I never would have thought that she would know how to drive in Texas or North America. And, that was really, really funny for me. But then I told Faith, I was watching the show, it made me cry when I saw her mother and how invested her mother was in this process and how it really tugs at the moms, both, all their families' hearts when they put themselves out there and they are open to criticism, but they're also chasing this huge high stakes dream. So that there's nothing that we've, I don't think there's anything that we haven't explored, but there is a lot more
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, there's just more of everything. The adversity, the fun, the giggles, the tears, there's more.
Well, it is literally the world's most famous cheerleading team. It is America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Season 3 streaming on Netflix right now. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Awesome.